Hey, Jason Rice here with the Lot Party Quick Tip. I'm seeing this load over here on the left, so I'm assuming I'm live because it says over here I'm live. And I wanted to go over some of the things that we're starting to see. Now, I wanted to, and I'm checking over here on my computer because I wanted to see if I can go back and forth from sharing my screen to sharing my computer or not, and it doesn't look like it's allowing me to do it. So, two things I'm going to do for you, actually three. I'm going to copy and paste some things in the comment here and comment area as we're talking. And again, I'm going to go over a couple things that we're seeing across at a lot of our dealerships. A little bit of a heads up on some of them. Some of them it's going to be more of a warning. But one is, and I'm copying the stuff in here right now. One of the things we're kind of projecting is what we're seeing happening. And right now, I can't say go dump and have you guys get worried about everything, but we're seeing the cheaper cars starting to sit longer on lots. So keep an eye on that. Again, I'm not telling you to start dumping cheap cars because those tend to be no worries on most lots, but we're seeing them stick around on some lots. And kind of the theory is right now the cheap car buyer, the customer that is looking for cheaper cars, maybe they're the waiter or waitresses, the people that work at some retail locations that right now there hasn't been a stimulus check for them, like the big boom that we had during the big COVID. So they're talk about a second wave, and a lot of these people are still laid off or afraid that they might be laid off soon. So that's kind of our theory on that right now. If those cars, cheaper cars, 15 grand or less, are starting to kind of stick on your lot longer than usual, it could be, look at your market and your clientele and what type of buyers you have. And if it's a lot of blue collar workers and things like that working at retail establishment, hairdressers and waiter and waitresses and hotel employees and things like that, that could be slowing things down. Plus the fact that I think we had a big boom in those car sales due to the fact in big city areas, especially where people used to do Ubers and taxis and stuff that never really owned a car, started buying cars because they weren't doing that anymore, and they're buying the cheap stuff. They didn't really need something, so they bought 5, 10, 12 grand cars just to have something so they can have transportation. So keep an eye on that. Not a big push yet, but that's a trend. Another trend we're starting to see is trucks. Trucks seem to be getting soft. This type of year, they tend to pick up, obviously going into winter months. But it also seems, if I can remember correctly, the last couple winters, it seems like trucks were soft, surprisingly, but not surprisingly because I think there's just a huge volume of them. Now, you might not have to worry about later models. We were talking about that earlier in a call today. We had some, like a 2019 Chevy, and it's like, well, I mean, does the Chevy lots even have any 2020s or big rebates on the new ones right now? But it does seem like trucks are sticking around and starting to be, a lot of times we used to see dealers always need more trucks. They're selling more than they're carried. Now we're starting to see a lot of dealers heavier in trucks, and they have more than what they're selling. And it seems like they're softening up. That goes to another point. I put two headlines in here from two different sources. One's Auto Remarketing. This was posted, I think you had to pay for their membership to see this article. I put the link in here. If you don't have a membership, let me give you the heads up on it. It's basically projections on October used car sales tally. And it says, this was posted on Monday, November 9th here, said used vehicle sales last month fell 5% from October of 2019. So they're showing that they're about 5% lighter than last October. And I will tell you, the other chart that I gave you, another link in here, the third link was for Car Global, car with a K. If you look nationally, about mid-October, sales and listings started going down. We found that across the board. And this is a for sure trends. Again, the trucks and the lighter, cheaper cars are kind of something we're seeing right now, but no big warnings. But this is a big warning. About mid-October, a lot of dealerships, they hit a wall and sales started slowing down. And we started feeling a little bit of pain. Things started slowing down, and we really had dealers start slowing down that were only kind of looking at their inventory once a week as far as making big adjustments. We've had some dealers that every certain day of the week they do 50 to 100 price changes, and those type of dealers, man, we're seeing their inventory just starting to bleed through and getting aged on them. The dealers that were consistently adjusting their inventory, and because over the last couple of weeks, you've probably seen a car that was priced at 97%, 2 days later at 99%. The market was moving quick. And so if you weren't moving with it and waiting once a week, you're going to be week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks behind on these cars. So you got to be making adjustments fast. I've seen it across the board at a lot of our stores that they had, that their inventory wasn't starting to slow down. And if they weren't making adjustments fast, it was hurting them. So to my point is, this October was lighter than 2019. The next article that I shared, Used Car News, that happened to come out today, just 2 days later, but it's talking about how IC Car's latest analysis over 1.2 million used car sales in October, used car prices had averaged an increase of 9.5% compared to previous year. Every vehicle segment increased in price compared to last year. So we had a 5% drop in sales from last year, but yet prices increased 9.5. So my point is, maybe that's the problem. I think what happened in the beginning of October is we're still coming off of this COVID high where we could sell anything at pretty much any money. A lot of dealers didn't even have to advertise. Customers are coming in buying cars, and we're able to make some grosses on cars. And so when we're starting October, things were starting out pretty good. So we weren't making adjustments fast enough. And all of a sudden, now the market hit. We paid up for a bunch of cars. Again, car prices high up 9.5%. We're paying up for cars, and we don't want to have to discount them yet. But the dealers that haven't made adjustments with the market are starting to bleed through an age. Could be part of this truck stuff, right? And so that's another big issue right now. If you are not making quick adjustments on your inventory, not looking at it every day and figuring out where you need to make adjustments, where your holes are on your lot, you need to be doing it, because whatever you're buying right now at the beginning of this month will be 60 days old going into December. And you don't want to do that, especially if, I mean, these other countries are starting to shut down again. There's some states and cities starting to shut down again due to COVID. I don't think we'll get to that level. Who knows? The new elected, supposedly not official yet, but kind of president coming in wants mask mandates, and stuff like that. So who knows if there's a new administration, what kind of lockdowns that they're going to push. I know it's up to towns and cities and governors, but there could be a big wave of shutdowns. You're going to have cars, and I don't know if we're going to have a big uptick like we did the first round of this whole COVID stuff when the smoke clears. We may, but you got to watch what's happening between now and December. I would use October, November, and December to tighten up your inventory going into a January, February selling season. February and March, mid-February through mid-April is usually the best time to be selling cars and making money. Don't use those months to eat out of cars that you messed up on in January and December and heck, October right now and November. So anything that you buy right now, November 1st, will be aged going into January and the end of December. So I'm thinking still October because of these articles. And I just caught myself 5 minutes later. So watch your inventory. It's moving quick. You got to move with it. Again, kind of wrap this up with a little bit of promo. That's what we do at Lotpop. We're another layer to your inventory management tool. Don't matter if you're on Max Digital, vAuto, right now VinQ, and even Dealers Link. We look at where the holes are and help you make adjustments every day. We got an action plan every day saying, hey, your 31 to 45 is bleeding through. Your pricing went up on your 46 to 60. Your sales, your photos are out around. You need more trucks. You need less cars. Whatever. We're helping dealerships make adjustments quicker. And I bring that up because you need to be looking at this stuff and understanding if you need to get more aggressive, because again, we've just come off a used car high. We could get away with adjusting once a week and still be able to sell a lot of cars. Now we can't. You're going to have to be in there every day looking at your inventory, making adjustments, but don't be chopping prices just to drop price. Do it with a purpose. So hope this was helpful. If you want a free inventory evaluation or see what I'm talking about, how we can be an added layer to what you're already doing, Lotpop.com. We do a 20 group. Find information there. We've got first 30 wristbands. I'll send to dealers if you want any. On our website, it'll say hashtag first 30. Tell me your dealer name, how many you want. We'll send them to you. Again, I hope this was helpful, and reach out if you need any more help.